So Kawhi Leonard officially re-signed with the Clippers this offseason. It was a 4-year deal. I believe the 4th year is a player option. I'm pretty sure everybody on the planet thought he was going to be doing that, but the stress has gone out the window. He's one of those weird guys that waits a couple days for God knows what reason, but he's back with the Clippers. They also just made a big trade yesterday. So the Clippers sent Rajon Rondo, Patrick Beverley, and Daniel Oturu to the Memphis Grizzlies for Eric Bledsoe. If I'm being honest with you, I'm not really a fan of this deal. You obviously lose a ton of defense with Patrick Beverley, you lose some playmaking with Rajon Rondo. That being said, they are saving $30 million in a luxury tax, and they also just acquired an $8 million trade exception. So I do understand where, kind of the hype and the want to do that deal does come into play. But at the end of the day, when you're a championship contender like the Los Angeles Clippers, I would probably tend to keep two of the guys on my team that are probably going to be pretty important. Reggie Jackson obviously looked very good in the playoffs. They re-signed him as well. So they kind of do have their starting point guard. I don't think Beverly or Rondo is going to start. At the end of the day, maybe trading one of the two would have made sense. But, 2 out of 2 is definitely a move to go ahead and now save that luxury tax. So they did make that trade official. We're going to be going ahead and doing this Clippers offseason rebuild today. So I also do want to emphasize for those of you who are new around here, have not watched any of these videos in the past, these are not realistic rebuilds whatsoever. So I want to put that out there. I still get comments to this day, hey man, why are you doing this? This is not realistic. Well, thank you. It's not a realistic rebuild. But yeah, if you guys have been enjoying the videos, man, can do me a favor, hit that sub button. It would mean a lot to me. And as always, you guys got any new other video ideas, feel free to leave those down below in my comment section. So Clippers, hopefully Kawhi is going to be healthy for the majority of the season. I have no idea when he's going to be coming back. I don't play with injuries on, so he's not going to be injured in today's video. But again, we're going to go ahead and try to win a championship here in 3 seasons with the Clippers. Let's get into it. So I do use just the top downloaded roster on NBA 2K21 on PS5. It has most of these things pretty much up to date. Whoever did create this roster is actually doing a very good job with it. They actually went ahead and put through that Bledsoe trade very, very quickly. So I don't know who you are, man, but whoever you are, you're out there. Huge shout out to you, man. So I'm sure a lot of you do know this. I do not typically go ahead and make any trades before we do start simming year number 1 in these offseason rebuilds, just because I kind of like to see what the team maybe looks like next year, according to 2K anyways. Obviously, we're technically a year behind. As you can see right there, it says December 2020. We would obviously be into the next season at this point, but again, we're not going to simulate an entire season and screw up the contracts and everything. So taking a look at this roster right now, Reggie Jackson obviously balled out for the Clippers in the postseason. That being said, I think a lot of that maybe had to do with Kawhi Leonard not being there. Reggie Jackson obviously got more touches, but I'm excited for this, man. He's not on necessarily a bad contract. Is it really only 2 years, $22 million? I don't know why I thought it was more. Jason Preston was, I believe, was he a second-round pick this year? I don't know what he was, but I believe he's a new member of this team. The shooting guard spot here is loaded. Obviously, I'm fully aware that all of these guys are not going to be technically shooting guards on this team. They're going to go ahead and obviously figure out a way that the majority of these guys can get into the rotation. It also is nice that Bledsoe is only on a 1-year deal. I think that's definitely another key piece to why they kind of want to do that. He's obviously a super solid defensive guard as well, him and Paul George. Both pretty solid on the defensive end of the ball, and then Kawhi Leonard's obviously one of, if not the best two-way player in the NBA when healthy. So this team made the right moves, in my opinion. I mean, I'm still a little iffy on that Beverly deal, as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, but at the end of the day, if they don't want to pay $30 million more in luxury tax, even though I'm pretty sure you do have the richest owner in the NBA, but that's, again, not my business. So we are going to go ahead and probably move some positions around. I'm not going to make any trades here necessarily before we do start simming year number 1. I believe I'm probably going to go ahead and move Terrence Mann to that small forward spot. I don't know if he'll necessarily be getting any minutes right now, as much as he, also balled out in the postseason with Kawhi gone. I don't know. It's either him or Batum. Do I want to go with the veteran who also actually looked pretty decent at some point in time? When did they get Justice Winslow? I have no idea. I mean, I'm assuming he's fully on this team. I probably just missed it. But, yeah, we have Keon Johnson as well. Is he from Tennessee? Yes, he is. He's on this team. I don't think in year number 1 he's going to get any minutes. Dude, this Luke Kennard contract does not look good anymore. I thought at one point in time this deal looked like an absolute steal, but it just doesn't. If I'm being honest with you, Bledsoe's probably going to play here in the first season. I think Eric Bledsoe's better than Luke Kennard is right now. So, backup point guard, Jason Preston's probably not necessarily going to get minutes. What I actually could maybe do here, so I do maybe go ahead and move Bledsoe down to the point guard spot. He goes down to a 75 overall. I'm actually going to live with that. I would say, honestly, he's, sized as a point guard. I think he's more of a shooting guard these days. I just don't want to play a 72 overall as my backup point guard on a championship contending team in the first year, you know what I'm saying? So I guess Kennard will get minutes eventually. I'm going to transition to Keon Johnson. They also have Brandon Boston Jr. here from Kentucky, but obviously Paul George is going to be starting for me probably the entire video. Kawhi's obviously not going anywhere. So it's probably going to be, I'm iffy on this one. Justice Winslow is also basically a point guard. I understand that he's listed as a small forward because that's what he was, I believe, technically drafted as, but I believe he's more of a point guard. So yeah, we don't technically have a backup 4 right now. I'm probably going to go ahead and give the backup 4 minutes to Batum at 6'8". More of a stretch 4, kind of similar to Morris. I'm not saying they're the same player, but you know what I'm saying. And then Ibaka and Zubac's here. Zubac's overall is a little bit lower. That's also something I didn't know about this roster and this draft, or not this draft class, but this roster, whoever created it, lowered the overalls of a couple of guys. If you watched my Celtics rebuild yesterday, you actually would have noticed that Robert Williams' overall was a little bit low. I see Zubac's is here as well. So maybe he's guessing at what these overalls are going to be next year anyways, but I'm not going to play with it here too much. So I'm going to set the rotation. It probably is going to be a 10-man rotation. I don't love doing 10-man rotations with contenders, but we have a very deep team, I will say that. So I will see you guys the rotation before we do start simming your number one. So I've gone ahead and set this rotation the way I think it's going to work best, the way, according to 2K, obviously. So Reggie Jackson, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, Marcus Morris Sr., and Serge Ibaka are going to be our starting five. I don't really think there was much debate on what the starting five was going to look like. Maybe could make a case for putting Zubac in that starting five over Ibaka. I like Serge Ibaka a lot. I think he's actually still to this day a little bit underrated in the league, if I'm being honest with you. So he's going to remain our starting center for now. That's also not me saying he's going to be here the entire video. I know some people get confused when I give somebody a compliment towards the beginning of the video and then I trade them the next offseason. And you're like, what the hell? You just kind of hype this dude up. It's just for the first season. I just want to put that out there. Our bench is actually pretty good. So I did decide to give both Terrence Mann and Nicholas Batum minutes. You'll see the rest of them right here. It is a 10-man rotation. Bledsoe's only technically getting 10 minutes. I would maybe like to get him more in an ideal world, but, a 10-man rotation. I'm playing Paul George and Kawhi Leonard 35, 36 minutes respectively. And I do want to get, Reggie Jackson, Morris, and Ibaka a decent amount of minutes as well. So 10's all is going to be here for Bledsoe. We do have Justice Winslow, Keon Johnson, obviously on the bench, Jason Preston, Brandon Boston Jr. I did not know this team had 3 rookies. I really did not. But, yeah. That's how it's going to look here for year number one. Obviously, some things are definitely going to be changing after the first year here, but definitely this team's a championship contender. Will we win one? I don't really know. Again, I think this team's probably more of a championship contender in real life than they are in 2K here. I'll be interested to see how long Kawhi's recovery is, though, man. I don't think he's going to be, back for the start of the regular season, but hopefully not too far into it, man, because I really do miss seeing Kawhi play basketball. But, yeah. That does it for now, man. We are obviously looking to hopefully be a top seed here in the Western Conference. I'll see you guys at the end of the first year. So we have closed out year number one here. Nikola Jokic goes back-to-back in the MVP department. He is very, very good and definitely made his case for the best center in the league. There's really no debating it. We are a 2 seed here in the Western Conference. Honestly, not too bad. I thought this team maybe could have been around a 3 or 4 seed. Obviously, we're contending really no matter what seed we ended up with, whether it was 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever it would have been. But 2 seeds pretty good for me. Cade, Rookie of the Year in Detroit, Andre Drummond. I don't know why this is suddenly becoming a thing when he's winning 6th Man of the Year. This dude is so fucking bad, it's not even funny. Darius Garland, Most Improved, Nick Nurse, Coach of the Year. Wow, Toronto went 55-27. Let's talk about things that are just not going to happen for $100. Let's just... Not a chance. All right, player stats in the year. Wow, scoring is weird. Why is Kawhi Leonard averaging 18 points? When was the last time Kawhi averaged 18 points? Oh, this is because he didn't play a lot of that season. But, yeah, we have to go back to, 2014, 2015 to the last time Kawhi was under 20 points a game. Interesting, 2K. Very, very interesting. Rebounds went to Serge Ibaka, and assist was Kawhi Leonard. So, we are in the playoffs here. Phoenix ended up as a 1 seed. We do have Sacramento in the first round. Wow. Really did not. It's an interesting starting. What? I guess Sacramento's doing some things. I have no idea why, but they did it, and we sweep them moving on to Denver. Jamal Murray, Eric Gordon, Michael Porter Jr., I said Aaron Gordon twice. Eric Gordon, Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon, and Nikola Jokic. All right, let's go ahead and get to buy them, hopefully in round 2. We win in 4, and now we got Phoenix here. Chris Paul, Devin Booker, Mikal Bridges, Jay Crowder, and DeAndre Ayton. Obviously a team that was in the finals last year. We're looking to beat them this year. There we go, and now we got a Clips-Bucks finals. So the team that won the finals last year, and let's see if we can get it done this year, man. Obviously, Giannis is not going to be an easy thing to stop. We do have healthy Kawhi Leonard, fortunately enough for us, and... Okay. Well, we won a championship with Kawhi averaging 19 points. I don't know why his scoring's down. I don't know if it's a tendency thing or something like that, but nonetheless, we won. So, obviously, we won a championship. I'm not going to go ahead and really count this one. I didn't do anything to the team. I legitimately did not make one move. I adjusted the rotation a little bit, but I really, in the long run, didn't actually do anything. So, our goal is to win another one. That goal is not going anywhere. I just want to make that 100% clear with all of you guys. Draft lottery time, this team has basically no first-round picks because every single one of them is either an Oklahoma City pick now or it's some sort of swap with Oklahoma City. Top 3 here, Thunder, Bulls, Wizards. I'm surprised the Bulls were so bad after the additions of Lonzo and DeMar, but they were nonetheless. Ty Lue not going anywhere. Dan Craig's not going anywhere. Logan Hall's fine. Derek Irving, your ratings blow. My guy, Randy Martin, will sign a new assistant coach as well. Mike Brown's here trying to guide Trent Peterson, though. I don't really care about my CFO, just because, again, it doesn't affect anything here in my NBA. So, we are heading up to the draft right now. We do have the 30th overall pick, surprisingly. I'm pretty sure this was one of the years where it was a pick swap option then for Oklahoma City. So yeah, the championship's won. I know I just said it doesn't really count, but that being said, I can kind of maybe blow up this current core a little bit, because if I'm being honest with you, Luke Kennard is definitely not getting paid $14 million to play 12 minutes a night for me. It's just not happening. I'm also iffy on Morris and Jackson just because of their age. I know how they both tend to regress in this game. I'm sure a lot of you know it as well. It's nothing against them. If I'm being honest here, Reggie Jackson is probably the safest out of these three right now. Again, he's not 100% safe, but I am going to go ahead and take that contract. He's a year younger than Morris. Not that it's that big of a deal. He's also 2 overall higher. So I'm not saying we're going to maybe move up and make a high draft pick. Keon Johnson will definitely be in my rotation next year. That is without a doubt going to happen. He'll be the backup for Paul George. It just really sucks these two are making so much money. Not that it necessarily limits me financially, but it does kind of restrict me like a little bit. It's not an end-all be-all. We don't have 3 max contracts. We're not the Lakers right now, but it's still a lot of money tied to 2 players. It definitely is. It's almost, how much money is that? Let me do some math. Is that? Yeah, it's $80 million. Jesus goddamn Christ. Okay, we're going to go ahead and make a trade. I'll see you guys with that move. So here's the deal. Marcus Morris Sr., Luke Kennard, and our 30th overall pick in this year's draft, heading to New Orleans for Devontae Graham, Billy Hernangomez. Devontae Graham's numbers this year, 14.5 points, 2.5 boards. 7.5 assists is really what I'm looking at there. Only 27 years old. Obviously do get a little younger at that point guard spot. So it kind of does maybe right the fate of Reggie Jackson a little bit. I mean, I know I said I like his contract a lot, but if we take a look at the contract here on Devontae Graham, it's very, very similar. It's for more years, and he's also obviously 5 years younger here. So it's nothing against Reggie Jackson. I just want to get a little bit of youth onto this team. So that's definitely going to be our goal right now. So Reggie Jackson's maybe going to get me some sort of starting power forward. I'm assuming that's probably the one spot we do need right now. I mean, obviously we're going to look to bring a Vika Zubats and Serge Ibaka both back on this squad. So, yeah, we're going to go ahead and make our next trade now. So I'm going to go ahead and see if there's any way Houston would be willing to give me Christian Wood for Reggie Jackson here. Christian Wood can definitely play the power forward spot for him if he has to. I'm going to go ahead and probably throw in maybe a guy like Justice Winslow, who just wasn't even in my rotation. Unfortunately, as I mentioned, don't have a lot of picks here because I believe, was it a record number of picks that LA gave up to the Thunder for Paul George? Was that? I believe that's the case. It's something very similar to that. They do agree to the deal, which means I'm probably going to be sliding Christian Wood down to the power forward spot where he does jump up to an 89 overall. We obviously traded our draft pick this year. We're not going to be using that. Bledsoe is going to come back just because I'm probably going to do a sign and trade with him. I do want to go ahead and find a way to get some of these younger guys into the rotation. As I mentioned, we're trying to go not so much youth movement here, but get a little bit of younger guys into the starting 5 just so we're not hammered with regression so much on everybody. I mean, I'm sure a lot of you know Paul George, unfortunately, is one of those guys that just gets very disrespected in this game and does end up progressing pretty hard. So free agency time, but we do have bird rights here on Ibaka. It looks like we do not have them on Zubats. Actually, wait, was he? Yeah, oh yeah, we had a team option on him. I'm nuts. Okay. I really don't need Billy Hernangomez, if I'm being honest with you. We obviously just picked him up in the Devontae Graham deal, but we're going to have Ibaka. I maybe could move one of these guys to the backup power forward spot. Unfortunately, just the 3-point shooting's not really there for me, so we're probably going to look for some sort of trade. And as much as I do love Terrence Mann, I'm going to probably bump this rotation down to a 9-man one just because I don't really want Kawhi averaging 18.5 points again, if I'm being honest with you here. So, yeah, trade definitely could be in the works. We're probably going to play Jason Preston as the backup point guard. Eric Bledsoe, I just picked up his team option just to trade him because, again, unrealistic rebuild. We'll get a first-round pick for him. And Keon Johnson will definitely hop into this rotation. So I will see you guys with some sort of trade. Also, is Terrence Mann a free agent after this year? He is. So that's also, it's nothing against him, man. I think he obviously shined a lot in the playoffs with Kawhi out, but, I'm not paying him a lot of money to come off the bench, especially when I don't really need another backup small forward. So, not another, but I don't need a backup small forward whatsoever. So, I'll see you guys with some sort of deal here. So, I have absolutely no idea why the Sacramento Kings are offering this. I obviously brought back Serge Ibaka, as you can see, but they are, so we're going to do it. We also are picking up Tyrese Halliburton here. I have no idea why that's a trade, but, yeah. Tyrese is technically listed as a point guard here. Actually, like a little bit more at that shooting guard spot. But I didn't make that trade for Tyrese Halliburton. I made it for Rudy Gobert, who's obviously going to be a tremendous defensive presence next to Christian Wood, who I really need to be a stretch for, spread that floor a little bit. So I do have to make a decision because I kind of just got Tyrese Halliburton for nothing. I don't want to go ahead and just waste him, but I don't really have a spot for him necessarily. And again, it's nothing. I know I keep saying this. It's nothing against him, but holy fuck. Okay, maybe I keep Halliburton. Why is he averaging 19 points? That might be it. What were his numbers in his actual rookie year? I'm actually going to look that up, and I'll see you guys with a move or some sort of thing. So he was actually around 13 points a game in his rookie year. I don't know why he's, putting up 19 points a game here, but he is. So what I'm actually probably going to do is just start him. I also really feel like he's more of a shooting guard than a point guard, but maybe I'm wrong on that. Again, I'm not 100% sure, but honestly, let's have him start. We'll just run Devontae Graham off the bench. That's totally fine by me. Keon Johnson will be Paul George's backup. We do need to figure out a new backup power forward, but other than that, man, we kind of, made a lot of moves with this team that I really didn't necessarily think were going to go ahead and happen. I actually might go ahead and throw, where the hell is he, Jason Preston in the trade finder, just see if I get an option for a backup power forward. I don't necessarily need to do this, but, I don't really see him playing, especially with two really young point guards that I think are both going to have potential for me. So I'm actually going to take a first-round pick and a trade exception from Golden State. I don't want to just give him up for nothing, but there's really just, I don't see a way where he gets into this rotation at all. So Brandon Boston Jr. is going to stay. He's probably not going to be getting minutes this upcoming season. I will probably eventually have to make a decision on him between him and Keon Johnson, but Keon's definitely getting the minutes for now. So backup power forward department, the options aren't great here. What I'm actually going to do is maybe sign Lou Will if Lou Will wants to come back after maybe getting done a little bit dirty by the LA Clippers. Then we're going to go ahead and trade him right back. Ooh, maybe a little bit shady. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and move him. I just need a backup power forward. Again, Matisse. I just love Matisse Thybulle. I'm sure a lot of you guys know that. I don't need it to be anybody that good. I just need it to be somebody who's a power forward. Zach Collins, I'm not giving up a first-round pick here, right? That's a really bad trade. All right, Juan Hernan-Gomez is fine. I was not giving up a first-round pick for Zach Collins. There's just no way it's happening. So we do have a 9-man rotation. We've obviously made some significant improvements, especially when it comes to our front court. I think this team's going to be very, very good. Hopefully go back-to-back. I'll see you guys at the start of year number 2. So we have arrived at the start of year number 2. We are fresh off a championship, and unfortunately we kind of did clear out a lot of, besides our main core of Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, we kind of cleared house, if I'm being 100% honest with you here. But I do like the additions we made to this team. We got a little bit younger. We got a little bit better. I think it's going to work out. Tyrese Halliburton, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, Christian Wood, and Rudy Gobert. I can almost 100% assure you I've never had a rotation look like this. That is for sure. Our bench unit, Devontae Graham, Ivica Zubac, Keon Johnson, Juan Hernan-Gomez. I'm very excited to be getting Keon some minutes here. I do like his potential quite a bit. So I think we're going to be very, very good this year. I'm looking to hopefully be a 1 seed this year and, again, win another championship. I will see you guys at the end of year number 2. So we did finally go ahead and get that 1 seed here in LA at the end of year number 2. Not bad. Luka, first career MVP, where he averaged 14.5 assists. Goddamn. KJ Allen, I'm sorry, dude. I have absolutely no idea who you are. It looks like you were actually in the 2021 class. My bad. Killian Hayes, 6th man of the year. I think they're actually probably going to run a rotation this year in real life of him and Cade in the same backcourt. You can ignore Jonathan Isaac. Kier Lewis Jr., most improved. Ty Lue, wow, we went 69-13. First of all, nice. Second of all, wow, 69 wins. Not bad. I'd like to break 70 at some point in time. What is up with Kawhi? Did whoever made this roster just turn his tendencies down or something? Like, in what world is Tyrese Halliburton averaging more points than Kawhi Leonard? Like, again, it's not a shot at Tyrese, but, you know what I'm saying? Kawhi Leonard's a top 5 player in the world when he's healthy. He's not averaging 18 points a game. There's just no way. I don't know. I'm going to blame it on the roster. I don't think it's anything I'm doing wrong with this rotation, but then again, maybe one of you can let me know in my comment section. So we got the Lakers here. Russ, our old friend Lou Will, who I didn't even know I traded the Lakers. LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and Frank Kepner, their starting center. Why you're an 8 seed, I don't know, but we do go on to win in 6. Moving on to Denver, who we did beat last year as well. Nothing looks like it changed in that starting 5 right there. Hopefully same result as last year. We sweep. Moving on to Phoenix, who we also played last year. They're still pretty good. We're going to go ahead and hopefully, wow. So we got Kawhi up against his old team here, man, in the finals. Fred VanVleet, Gary Trent Jr., Scotty Barnes, and Pascal Siakam. Let me just be the first to say that I've established this in when I did a Scotty Barnes Toronto Raptors rebuild. Scotty Barnes is not a small forward. He's not a good three-point shooter. I believe he's like a 30% three-point shooter. I don't know why, in what world. And look, I get it's 2K, but if the Raptors are actually trying to roll out a lineup of having these two in it, I don't think it's going to work well. I'm just being 100% honest with you in it. Unless it's some sort of hybrid where you're playing one of them at the center. And that's, again, a big if. But I'm interested to see what the Raptors are going to do, man, because they're in a weird spot right now where they're really not good enough to be a contending team. But, again, I do understand how hard it is to, trade your best players. They're going to be moving on from VanVleet. If they're going to be moving on from Siakam, that's not something you just do lightly. So I understand it, but it's a very weird spot they're in right now. We go back-to-back, and oh, my God, Tyrese Halliburton is legitimately broken. Look, I think Tyrese Halliburton has tremendous potential in this league. Do I ever think he's going to be a 22-point-per-game scorer? I don't think so. Again, I've been wrong before. I'm probably wrong again. All 3 Kings fans that are out there, I'm sure you're all going to be very upset with me when he hopefully one day turns into that. But again, that's probably the roster for you. Because something weird's going on right now. In what world is Tyrese Halliburton averaging more points than Kawhi Leonard? You know what I'm saying? It just really doesn't make sense to me. Hawks actually don't have that Oklahoma City pick. I'm not going to go ahead and manually turn it off. I don't care that much. And if it was, if I was the Hawks right now, I'd give it back to Oklahoma City. I just don't necessarily care that much about it. So we will head up to the draft in our final year here. Unfortunately, we do not have any picks. We do have a decent amount of young talent on this team anyways. All of these guys will be coming back. Qualifying Keelan Martin, unfortunately, you really didn't play for me, and you probably would not be playing for me here in the final year. So, couple big free agents here. Christian Wood's obviously the most important out of all of them, followed by Zubats, I would say. Only wants around $12 million a year. I can live with that. Get both of them back. I'm probably just going to let Juan Hernangomez go. I think he's probably very, very replaceable for me, if we're being honest here. So, getting Wood back was definitely something that I did want to go ahead and make sure it happened. He was very, very solid for us last year. As you can see, almost 20 points, 12.5 rebounds. So, very, very good. So, at this point in time, we do need to figure out a new backup power forward. That being said, I'm probably going to look to trade Brandon Boston Jr. Nothing against the guy. I just think that Keon Johnson's established himself here as my backup shooting guard. So, Brandon Boston Jr., maybe if you can get me some sort of different backup power forward, we can kind of call it a day here. I would say we change something in the starting five, but I just really don't know what it would be. I don't think Halliburton's the answer. Rudy Gobert was very solid for me, especially defensively, I'm sure. I'm probably not going to be changing that. So, we will do 2 first-round picks. We're going into the final year here, man. Obviously, our goal is to three-peat. Xavier Tillman, not bad. JT Thor as well. Wow, he actually coming off a really good year. I think JT Thor might be my guy. We're actually this might be the one time I'm looking for a specific position, and I'm actually getting offered a lot of that one position. That is not something that happens to me a lot. So, yeah, this is probably going to be a bit of a shorter video. The teams that are actually very, very good and tend to be contending teams, like the Clippers, the Lakers, the Bucks, guys like that. Their videos do tend to be shorter because there's less moves that I have to do because they are, they're contenders. So, I don't really think I'm going to make any final trades. I mean, maybe I'll look for a Rudy Gobert trade just to, kind of humor myself, but I don't really see myself trading him. He's obviously, to this day, he played like dog shit in the playoffs. There's really no doubting that, but he's still one of the best defensive centers in the league. I don't want to trade him for Vucevic, who, again, has been solid, but I don't really need another scorer here, if I'm being honest with you. So, what? Whoa. Okay. Hold the phone. That is not something I saw coming. Why is Kyrie an 89? Okay, so we're going to do that. I didn't see that one coming. So, I guess that does change some things here. I guess that really does change some things. Tyrese Halliburton just balled out for me, and now I'm honestly probably going to throw him in a trade here with Zubac just to kind of make some money work. And we are out of first-round picks, unfortunately. So, whoever my starting center is obviously going to be a little bit worse, I would say, but we can probably live with that. Ooh, Miles Turner. Oh, my God, he's been good. Miles Turner, welcome to the team. Really did not think Kyrie would be an option for me here. I'm surprised to say the least. Can one of these two maybe move? Or what are numbers wise? 4, maybe Isaiah Todd. I just want somebody who's actually listed as a center. Weirdly surprised. Again, there's something off about this roster, I would say. There really has to be something off about this roster because the fact that I was able to trade for Kyrie Irving and he's down to an 89 overall is suspicious. I mean, Kyrie's coming off a year averaging 19 points. That's not like, don't get me wrong, I don't think Kyrie's going to be averaging 19 points a game in Brooklyn this upcoming season. But I understand that more than Kawhi Leonard averaging 18 points. I say that because Kyrie has both James Harden and Kevin Durant next to him. You know what I'm saying? There's not a chance Kawhi, if, obviously he's not fully healthy in real life, but a fully healthy Kawhi Leonard, like he is in this game right now, is not averaging 18 points in LA. It's just never happening. But we made some moves. Will they work out for the best? I guess only time will tell. Tyrese Halliburton was an absolute god for us, so I didn't make that trade lightly, but at the end of the day, Kyrie Irving is Kyrie Irving. So, as crazy as he may be at times, he's a very, very good point guard. He's a top 3-4 point guard in this entire league. So, we made the move. I will see you guys at the start of year number 3. Final year here for us in LA, man. Regression is a little bit weird. I see Paul George regressing all the time. I'm sure a lot of you guys, who watch me, watch other My League YouTubers, do see that as well. I mean, obviously you can do it yourself, but I don't really ever see Kyrie going down to an 88, anything like that. It's weird. He's 31. That's supposed to be entering the final few years of your prime, I would say. I put NBA primes anywhere between the age. I typically think it starts around 25, 26, maybe even 27. And obviously it's different for every single player, and I think it rounds out somewhere probably around 31, 32, 33. That's just my opinion anyways. I have no idea why Kyrie's down to an 88. If this ends up screwing me over, I'm going to be kind of upset about it, but this starting five is obviously still very, very good. Our bench unit, I would say, is very good as well. Keon Johnson, Devontae Graham, JT Thorne, Vernon Carey Jr. So it's still a relatively young bench, maybe besides Devontae Graham at this point. But, yeah, man, we've won 2 championships today. We are looking to get a third here, man. I'll see you guys at the end of the third and final year here in LA. So back-to-back years here in LA. We are a 1 seed, obviously probably championship favorite at the current time. Being Nikola Jokic, this is technically now his 3rd career MVP. He's very, very good. Quentin Grimes, Rookie of the Year in Cleveland. Bol 6 Man of the Year. Every fucking time. Bol Bol also wins most improved. Ty Lue 63-19. So it's not 69 wins by last year, but again, 63 wins is never something I'm going to be upset about. I guess technically Kawhi Leonard scoring around 19 points. That being said, I don't think 19 points is crazy. It's not necessarily the most realistic thing in the world, but we did add another guy who's very, very capable of 20-plus points per game in Kyrie Irving. Obviously, Christian Wood's very, very close to 20 points per game around this team. So I don't necessarily think this is the craziest year. That last year, though, was very, very weird in my opinion. So we got Dallas here. Luka Doncic, Josh Green, Tim Hardaway Jr., Marvin Bagley's a new addition there in Dallas. They still have Tengus Pingus over there starting at center. I think we're definitely a lot better here in LA. So why do I speak? You know what I'm saying? Like, why do I speak? I open my fucking stupid fat mouth and nothing good ever comes out of it, you know? Well, son of a bitch. That did not go the way I was hoping. Were Rockets wet, huh? This game is on some other shit today, bro. What are we doing, Paul George? What are we doing, dude? I don't even know. Well, we got 2 championships. One of them was obviously basically given to us. The other one I would say we kind of earned. But this is a weird rebuild. This was a very weird rebuild. I think this roster is definitely, there's something wrong with it. There's no way that this roster, like, did he turn down tendencies, whoever made this? Like, that can be my only guess. And I don't really know why you would do that. But some people want to watch the world burn, I guess. As always, man, you guys enjoying these videos. You guys enjoyed this one. Can leave a like down below and subscribe for me, man. It definitely does help out the channel a ton, man. We're obviously trying to grow this channel. I want to hit 30K subs so bad, dude. I really, really do. And again, each individual one of you guys does help me do that. So I do thank you guys who are already subscribed to the channel and do watch these videos daily. So that pretty much wraps this one up. If you guys want to see a few more off-season rebuilds, I'd be happy to do it. I also do go, what is today's date? You guys seen this on the 17th. I go back to school in like 10 days. So, yeah, unfortunately in 10 days, daily uploads are probably going to come to an end. But you probably will. I mean, you obviously still see videos, but it's definitely going to be less. But it's been a great summer so far. You know, we're on like a 70-day upload streak right now, and it's absolutely crazy to me. But you guys have been loving it so far. I've been loving doing it. So that is all that matters. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys. I'll see you guys on the next one.